On my books, complete unanimity, everyone hated it. They said no scope, guaranteed failure, main market are the youth, यार वो उतने लंबी पुस्तकें नहीं पढ़ेंगे. I am Amish Tripathi and I am an author and I am speaking on my big vision and hopefully getting some good coffee. Needs to be stronger, man. कड़क होना चाहिए. I think stories are a mechanism to communicate culture. That's the way one sees it. And in our family, we are a very traditional family. We grew up with the stories of our gods and our goddesses, culture, our scriptures. We were in a boarding school. Ma used to send us long, letters. So कई बार तो she would quote from the Puranas, even the Vedas at times, which as you know are very complicated, particularly for a 9-10-year-old. In fact, among the first stories I heard was this beautiful story. Lord Ganesh and Lord Karthik were fighting over a mango. They said that whoever can circle the world, the entire world 3 times, will get that mango. And of course, Lord Karthik got on his peacock and took off. What Lord Ganesh did was just took 3 circles around his parents, and he said, "My parents are my world, so therefore I have actually done it." So it was of course a story that that we laughed at and we learned, but it was also in some ways very interesting about the relationship between brothers, about the importance of family, the importance of parents, and these stories actually teach you values, right? I was good in academics, but more in the science stuff, physics, maths. Immortals of Melua is the first piece of fiction, the first bit of creative thing that I've ever done in my life. We are in a bookstore. You have a lot of self-help books out here. So I bought self-help books on writing. If self-help books worked, they would stop selling, if you think about it. Right? Most of them, frankly, don't work. When I was planning it with those self-help books, very left brain, very MBA style, when I just let it be and just surrendered and just let it flow, it started coming like this. And very quickly I ended up writing, at that time, what was a 450 page book. Immortals of Melua या शिवा trilogy की शुरुआत यहाँ से हुई, with a pure philosophy discussion. What is evil? And then it got converted into an adventure to convey that philosophy. And the best hero for a story to convey a philosophy on evil is the destroyer of evil himself, Lord Shiva. He's a rule breaker in many ways. He exists outside of society, doesn't really dress nattily. As one of my younger readers had said, he's the dude of the gods. There are, some stories I'd love to read. There have been great women who have led armies, who have founded universities. Stories like Queen Chennamma, Queen Durgavati, Lopamudra, who were Rishikas. Many Indians don't know this, modern Indians. We had women rishis. Women and men should be treated as equal. We are not being westernized or American in any way. We are in fact being truly Indian. And these stories must come back. Normally the Western storytelling style, which has been inspired more by Aristotle's poetics, there's 3-act structure, beginning, middle, end, and the end should have a sense of conclusion. It can be a tragic ending. The Indian storytelling tradition was you should not have a sense of conclusion. And then that you realize is the true purpose of the story. Think about it and learn philosophies which you can implement in your own life. Which is why you'll find even at the end of my books, at the end of the Shiva trilogy, I don't leave you with a sense of conclusion. There's an ending which forces you to think, ye kyun hua? Even I as an author keep thinking about it. It's been said about Indian publishers that they are very fractious. You put 10 publishers in a room, you'll get 11 opinions. But on my books, complete unanimity, everyone hated it. They said no scope, guaranteed failure, main market are the youth, yaar wo utne lambi pustakein nahi padhenge. That was the first problem. Second problem, apparently I picked a subject which kids weren't interested in. Bhagwan ke upar kaun padhega? Write some campus romance. And so finally I self-published. The book took off in the first week itself, hit the bestseller charts. Many of the publishers who rejected it, they came back to bid for it. It was a blessing in disguise if you think about it. I started negotiating with them when the book was already a hit. And I was a banker, thoda left brain, MBA, kuch fayda to hai. So I could negotiate good deals. There was this one phase where I was at perhaps the lowest I've ever been in my life. And at that time, and I was writing Ravan, and for a few months, for 2-3 months, I was trying and I was getting nothing. Music helped at that time. And this song, just the first 10-15 seconds, like I just heard it and I started crying. I don't know if it was some release or something, but just the next 2-3 chapters, just I started seeing everything, just came down in a flood. And I went back and started writing. Writing was my refuge from life. महीने में मैं कम से कम 5-6 पुस्तकें तो पढ़ लेता हूँ. I've been reading at that pace for decades. And almost 85-90% of my reading is actually non-fiction. अगर मैं कोई पुस्तक पढ़ रहा हूँ, my aim is I should learn something from it. This is a book that's certainly worth reading. By Shashi Tharoor, An Era of Darkness. Not enough has been told to us about the real crimes of the British Raj. We thought the worst things that happened was Indians and dogs were not allowed into hotels. Trust me, they did a lot worse. Must read. Kaurav 100 और Pandav 5. तीजा आए तो 105. That Kauravs may be 100, Pandavs may be 5, but if there's an outsider, we are 105. Our ancestors were very brave. They saved our culture against so many invasions. But if there's one thing that we can learn from the mistakes of our ancestors is lack of unity. That is something that we should not do today. We will miss our chance. Big vision for stories will come from the big vision for India. And a large part of this in my mind is getting reconnected to our roots and being united. So if our stories can drive this big vision, reconnect to our roots and for God's sake remain united, what religion you follow, what caste you're from, what language you speak should not matter. If you're an Indian, you're one of us.